Russia and China forged strong alliance amid ongoing conflict in Ukraine. Russian President Vladimir Putin and Chinese President Xi Jinping have reaffirmed their commitment to strengthening ties in energy, trade, and security amidst the backdrop of political unrest. Here are the key points to note from their recent interactions. 1. Concerns over international turbulence. Both leaders expressed deep concern over the destabilizing military activities conducted by the U.S. and its allies, which they perceive as anti-Russian and anti-Chinese. They highlighted the need for a constructive role from China in the political and diplomatic resolution of the conflict in Ukraine. 2. Symbolic state visit. Putin's visit to Beijing marked his first international trip since beginning a new term as Russia's president. The visit underscores the deepening relations between Russia and China as they navigate challenges with Western nations. 3. Ukrainian president's warnings. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky met with military officials in Kharkiv city, emphasizing the challenging situation faced by Ukrainian troops following a surprise attack by Russian forces in the northeastern region. The combat dynamics in the Kharkiv direction are described as fluid and evolving. 4. Civilian challenges in Kharkiv. Reports indicate that Russian forces are hindering the evacuation of civilians from Vovchansk, a town impacted by Moscow's offensive towards Kharkiv. Verification of these claims is ongoing. 5. Ukrainian national identity. Ukrainians globally celebrated Vyshyvanka, a traditional embroidered shirt symbolizing national identity and resistance. The garment serves as a statement of Ukrainian heritage and defiance against external pressures. 6. Chinese support for peace conference. Chinese President Xi Jinping expressed support for convening an international peace conference to address the Ukraine crisis. China remains committed to playing a constructive role in achieving a political settlement. 7. NATO's assessment. NATO believes that while Russian forces have made local advances in Ukraine's Kharkiv region, they lack the numbers and capabilities for a strategic breakthrough. The alliance remains in close coordination with Ukrainian counterparts to support defense efforts. The evolving dynamics between Russia, China, and Ukraine underscore the complex geopolitical landscape and the critical need for diplomatic solutions to mitigate the ongoing conflict's impact on the region. US dismisses Xi-Putin joint statement as unremarkable. The United States has characterized the joint statement signed by Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping to deepen their country's strategic partnership as nothing new. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre expressed this sentiment during a briefing, emphasizing that the statement does not introduce any novel elements. Washington has maintained a clear stance on the matter, particularly regarding Chinese support for Putin's actions in the conflict with Ukraine. Key points. 1. Unchanged position. The U.S. views the joint statement between Putin and Xi as lacking in substance and failing to address the critical issues at hand. Jean-Pierre reiterated the U.S.'s disapproval of Chinese companies aiding Russia in its actions against Ukraine. 2. Concerns over Chinese support. Washington finds it unacceptable that Chinese entities are contributing to Putin's military efforts in Ukraine, highlighting the contradiction between purported support for peace in Europe and actions that undermine European security. 3. Diplomatic influence. When questioned about the U.S.'s ability to sway China's support for Russia, Jean-Pierre did not provide a definitive response, indicating the complexities of influencing China's foreign policy decisions. Additionally, Vladimir Putin's continuation of his state visit in Harbin, a Chinese city with historical ties to Russia, signifies ongoing engagements aimed at fostering trade, cooperation, and cultural exchanges between the two nations. The visit includes participation in trade forums, cooperation discussions, and interactions with students at the Harbin Institute of Technology. The evolving dynamics between the U.S., Russia, and China underscore the intricate geopolitical landscape and the challenges associated with navigating international relations in the context of ongoing conflicts and strategic partnerships. Russia intensifies aggressive actions in Ukraine across multiple fronts. In the past week, Russia has escalated its aggressive tactics in Ukraine psychologically, tactically, and economically, prompting U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken to acknowledge the challenging nature of the current situation. Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko revealed that Russian troops have engaged in joint training exercises with the Belarusian military involving tactical nuclear weapons, raising concerns about potential battlefield use in Ukraine. Key developments. 1. Northern Front expansion. Russian forces have initiated a new front in Ukraine's northern Kharkiv region, seizing villages near the border. This move follows earlier warnings from Ukrainian officials and aims to create panic, divert resources, and potentially secure territorial gains in the eastern part of the country. 2. Strategic reorganization. President Vladimir Putin has appointed an economist to streamline the Ministry of Defense and nationalize Russian defense industries. This move is seen as part of long-term preparations to enhance Russia's military capabilities and readiness to confront NATO. 3. Military objectives. The recent offensive in northern Ukraine targets areas previously contested in 2022, focusing on disrupting Ukrainian defenses, creating distractions, and potentially weakening Ukrainian resolve before the arrival of new U.S. weaponry. 4. Ukrainian response. President Volodymyr Zelensky highlighted the strategic intent behind the strikes in Kharkiv Oblast, emphasizing the need to preserve Ukrainian forces' morale and combat readiness amidst the ongoing conflict. 5. Expert analysis. The Institute for the Study of War in Washington suggests that the Russian offensive in the north of Kharkiv city serves limited operational objectives, but aims to draw Ukrainian resources away from critical sectors in eastern Ukraine. The evolving situation in Ukraine underscores the complex and volatile nature of the conflict, with implications for regional stability and international relations.